To really get a handle on the flood of AI content we're all seeing, we need a better way to think about it. So, let's tell a story. It's about a master chef, a magical kitchen, and a world that's about to be changed forever.
Okay, so picture this. One day, out of nowhere, this massive, magical kitchen just appears. It's right in the middle of the world, it's open to everybody, and it instantly becomes the new place where everything is created.
And this kitchen, it creates a clean break in history. There's a very clear world before and a radically different world after.
I mean, just think about the difference. Before, cooking was a real craft, right? It took years of practice, a ton of skill, and real intention. You had to learn, you had to fail, and you slowly, carefully developed your taste. But now, with this new magical stove, you just whisper what you want, and poof, an endless stream of any dish you can imagine appears right in front of you. No training required whatsoever.
And you've probably guessed it by now. That magical stove, that machine that can create literally anything you ask for, well, that's generative AI. That's the engine at the heart of our story. So with this incredible new tool now available to everyone on the planet, a really important choice appears. It basically creates two completely different paths for anyone who wants to create something.
And this gives us two kinds of creators. First, you have the thoughtful chef. They use the machine to speed things up for sure, but their main goal is still nourishment, care, and quality. They create balanced, meaningful meals. But then, you have the slot producer. They look at the machine and all they see is a way to make a quick buck. They just churn out addictive, sugary snacks engineered for craving with zero concern for anyone's well-being.
And that brings us to a really crucial term we need to understand: AI Slop. The source material for this explainer calls it, perfectly, ultra-processed junk food for the mind.
So how can you tell if you're looking at AI slop? Well, it's a lot like junk food. It's got a lot of flash, high calories, but almost no real nutrients. It's designed to make you crave more, not to actually nourish you. It's that stuff that's so good for the first bite and then completely forgettable a second later. And the most important part, it is incredibly fast and cheap to make a ton of it.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Big deal. Junk food has always been around. And you're not wrong. But the real danger here, the thing that changes everything, isn't the junk itself. It's the scale.
See, the tragedy isn't that a cheap candy bar exists. The tragedy is that this machine can produce billions of them a second, flooding our entire town, our entire world, and drowning out all the healthy, nourishing food. And when that happens, you get a kind of cultural sickness. The source calls it informational diabetes. It's that feeling of being totally overstimulated all the time, but also feeling completely undernourished mentally. Sound familiar? This, of course, leads to the million-dollar question. Who's responsible for this mess? Is it the technology's fault, or is it about the people using it? The answer is pretty clear. The stove, the AI, is just a tool. It doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have taste, it just does what it's told. The moral weight, all the responsibility for what gets made, falls squarely on the shoulders of the human pushing the buttons. But it's not just the chefs. We, the people eating the food, the diners, we play a massive role too. In this new kitchen, our attention is the only currency that matters. If we keep clicking on and sharing the most addictive, sugary junk, well, that's what the chefs are going to be incentivized to make more of. Our appetite literally shapes the menu. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. There is a hopeful path forward. There's a future where we can all become better creators and, just as importantly, more discerning consumers. We can all become master chefs of our own information diet. Think about it. What happens when a market is flooded with cheap plastic junk? Eventually, people start craving something real, something authentic. When every post and video is like a piece of neon candy, a well-researched, thoughtful, nourishing article, that well-cooked stew, it becomes incredibly precious. So this gives us a pretty clear roadmap for information literacy. First, you have to learn how to recognize the slop. Then, you have to taste your content critically, don't just swallow it whole. That means you start to actively value quality and seek out things with real substance. And finally, and this is huge, you have to support the master chefs, the creators who are actually trying to provide nourishment. And the potential for what these master chefs can do is absolutely mind-blowing. They can use AI not to make junk, but to do things we could never do before. Imagine using it to create a perfect 3D model of the inside of a cell for a student. Or to instantly translate your grandmother's secret recipe for anyone in the world. Or to create a custom learning plan for every single child's unique needs.
They're not just cooking the old stuff faster, they are expanding the very idea of what is cookable.
In the end, this whole metaphor scales up. Just like our bodies are literally built from the food we eat, our societies, our entire civilizations are built from the information we consume. The collective menu of our culture is quietly but powerfully shaping our collective mind.
So that leaves us with one last question to chew on. In this new global kitchen that AI has built for us, we all have to play a role. So, which are you? Are you a chef, creating things for others? Or are you a diner, consuming what's being served? And maybe the most important question of all is, what's on your menu today?